guess maybe it's kind of like the joining thing in Dragon Ball Z too, when the player heads come together. I don't know. On the left side of the map, we have our Red Terran, the winner of the last game. 3 games away from his spot in Code S. He is...
Slayer's GanZI.
Slayer's GanZI, yep. There he is. A little bit cold in the booth maybe. He's wearing a long sleeve shirt today. It's definitely not cold outside, that's for sure.
No, it isn't.
On the right side of the map, we have the loser of the last game. He wants that Code S spot. Bad Mole Trap. He is.
MarineKing Prime Week.
Really wants it. It's just kind of weird to see him down in Code A. I don't know. I mean, for people like me, who, you know, I was such a, I still am, was and am. What?
Just do 1-1-1. It's Imba. Don't listen to him. Just make Marines.
Silly fans. This isn't TVP. Anyway, yeah. I mean, as a fan of the GSL, it's for a long time, you know, since it started. Seeing MarineKing in Code A is just kind of weird. It's great to get to cast him, you know, but
yeah,
it's strange. So
yeah,
guys,
I don't think he's been in Code A before. Has he? Or?
No, he never has.
No.
No.
You always see one really pro player in Code A every season, though. It seems like MVP was down here for a season.
True.
Well,
Dude.
maybe that's all actually. Up and down matches, there's definitely always a couple really strong players that manage to get into the up and down matches, though.
Did you see what MarineKing just did, Mole Trap?
Did he CC first?
He went CC first. He made a command center before his barracks.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, well, I don't think my opening last game was greedy and risky enough. I think I better make it a little bit riskier this time around. Yeah, so command center first for MarineKing, which if GanZI can't put the pressure on, can do very, very well. But look at this factory right away for Slayer's GanZI. If he does decide to go for quick Banshees again with Cloak, MarineKing again could be in a lot of trouble from this.
Yep, we do have the factory, very quick factory from GanZI.
Yep.
I believe he did go for gas first as well this game.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Really, I'm really kind of wondering. I haven't had a chance to jump on the public test realm yet and try out some builds with the 5 seconds longer barracks build time, but kind of wondering how that would affect this type of opening and all that. I don't know. Just kind of a thought that popped into my head, Mole Trap. I had to say it.
All right.
Doesn't really apply to this game at all.
You know what I think?
What's that?
I think I really like the animation for the command center taking an orbital command, especially the end, where like the radar dish like kind of spins into place.
It is pretty cool.
I don't know. It's just a very satisfying. It
is
satisfying animation for some reason.
I agree. You know that it's much more satisfying than when an add-on starts on a building, because the add-on just kind of flops out like a beached whale. You know, it's not like very efficient. I don't know. Maybe the add-on's really durable, but it always kind of makes me laugh when I see an add-on come out.
I always see
like,
beached whales coming out of factories.
Well, it's the beached whale factory, man. Where do you think they come from? They're not born or anything. Slayer's GanZI's getting blue flame Hellions.
And the command center to follow that up. So
not too effective on beached whales, but against Marines and SCVs, it does pretty well.
Now here's the thing I was going to say. If he stands behind his wall, it's not going to affect MarineKing very much, but he's actually moving out and trying to take his expansion already. He does have a bunker, though, so MarineKing is probably going to be okay depending on his positioning and depending on what GanZI decides to do with his Hellions. He is going to have he's going to have 3 when Blue Flame finishes.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see if GanZI is going to show the Hellions to MarineKing yet. You know, if he's going to try to do some scouting at the front or anything like that, or if he's going to kind of hide them and then load them up with a medevac that he makes out of a starport and try to drop them.
Well, there is the starport right there. He may wait for a 4th. I don't know. I think the starport's a little bit late to really go for a quick drop.
Yeah.
Ideally, he would want to have the medevac out right now so it would finish with Blue Flame, but...
He's getting a Viking right away, so I guess that's not going to happen.
Well.
MarineKing, on the other hand, getting a lot of barracks, getting his factory right now. So we might see him just do standard Marine
at the main of MarineKing, those Hellions going in trying to prod, and no SCVs had gone down to the expansion yet except for 1. So he actually takes a lot of damage on those Hellions and only gets a single kill.
Well, at least he didn't lose them. I mean, he can go back to repair, but it's kind of embarrassing to go into a mineral line and there's no SCVs there. It's, I don't know. It's like showing up at a party too early. You're like, yeah, let's do this. It's like, oh, I'm just me and people I don't know. Oh, that SCV.
Take that, scouting SCV.
They got 1. They feel a little bit better now. Concussive Shells and Marauder on the way from MarineKing, so we may see him just go straight up bio this game, actually. which, you know, we still see Terrans do that every once in a while. We see it to kind of a crazy extent sometimes. There was a game between, I think it was DeMuslim and Kawhi Rice during MLG this last weekend where they both went just mass Marine medevac, which is kind of fun and funny.
Yeah, and I think you're right. MarineKing is putting the reactor down on his factory next to the starport, so he's going to switch over the starport and start building lots of medevacs. And, you know, that's MarineKing. It's MarineKing. He goes bio. That's what he does. And he is one of the few people, I think, that is capable of pulling off the mass bio even against the mass mech style that GanZI appears to be going for.
Well, he is the best person in StarCraft 2 at that. Oh, looks like he hasn't switched over the factory in the starport quite yet. Oh, well. I'm sure he will soon, though. But, yeah, I mean, we still see players going bio once in a while. Against mech, it's very, very difficult, too. A map like Dual Sight, it's wide open-ish in the middle, but
hold
not
that
as
thought
much.
Because we got 4 Blue Flame Hellions getting dropped in the back here.
Oh, I've got at least 6 seconds to keep talking before that happens.
I'm sorry. Here comes that drop, and he pulls the SCVs immediately. No kills just yet. Getting a couple, but the Marines are there.
Yeah,
they're going to force it back.
Well, smart for him to lift that. I mean, no reason to lose those Hellions. I mean, GanZI's really showed us these last 2 games he's doing a good job of not losing units.
I like the depot wall behind MarineKing's main base to kind of make sure that the Hellions have less room to maneuver. And he's dropping him back here and loses them. Oh, loses the medevac as well.
You remember like 10 seconds ago when I was talking about how great it was that GanZI wasn't losing units?
Yeah, you were wrong about that one, man.
I don't know. I was right at the time, and now not so much.
No,
Nope.
It was great. It was great.
It was great while it lasted, you know?
Great while it
lasted. One of those things that was nice to talk about, but now it's over.
Yeah, a little bit strange considering the fact that he was so conservative and had such good control with his Banshees in Game 1. And here he is just kind of throwing away his Hellions and his medevac here in Game 2.
Kind of tried to force it to work, didn't quite work out. We did see that GanZI's going definitely mech. He's got 3 factories out right now, whereas MarineKing's going definitely bio. Getting +1, getting stim, getting combat shields.
And production tab for MarineKing was going crazy for a second there. He had all kinds of upgrades going on.
It's like if each player was a yo-fat or a low-fat yogurt, MarineKing would be simply bio, and GanZI would be simply mech. See that flowery lettering on a yogurt container? I don't know. Maybe I just drink early yogurt.
MarineKing is now moving across the map now. I'm sorry. I'm not familiar with the yogurt world. And look at that building placement, blocking those Hellions from getting in behind the supply line. He's going to get 0 SCVs again. And now he doesn't have those Hellions to fend off this attack at the front, and MarineKing might drop.
Well, yeah, MarineKing scouted the front. He saw all of the units for Slayer's GanZI, decided that he could go around the back and drop in the main. I think this might be a pretty good idea. Is Siege Mode finish it for GanZI?
It is.
It is,
and
okay.
He's going to siege up, and this is actually really bad for MarineKing unless he pulls back. Oh no, the Vikings killing medevacs, and everything else killing everything else.
Well, this
nice little counter at the front, but I think MarineKing just lost way too much there and barely killed any of GanZI's units.
This is what tends to happen when you try to go straight up bio or simply bio versus simply mech, I should say. Your units just die. So
I'm trying to think
to be a bit more predictable with this.
I'm trying to think of more yogurt jokes, but I don't actually know any yogurt brands enough to make some more puns.
You ever see that yogurt that was like in a plastic tube?
Oh, Go-Gurt?
That was the weirdest thing, man. I don't know. I would never be able to eat yogurt out of a tube like that.
Well, you can never be a space astronaut then. GanZI going for a little bit of a counterattack. He needs to make sure he engages while sieged up. He's got the air control so he can actually spot long distance as well.
Yeah. So mad you're crushing my space astronaut.
I'm sorry, man.
I was like first the GSL, then space astronaut.
It's a really natural transition.
Oh, I would say so. So right now GanZI is going to take a really, really defensive point in the middle of the map. He's starting to put up turrets, as we can see there too. And if he decides to just go all out, huge defensive position, we could see like bunkers and things like that. I kind of like it when players do that. They're kind of like, all right, this is my half the map. I dare you to come on it.
I guess I could just see like the interview with NASA right now. He'd be like, yeah, no, I have really good Banshee control. I can control spaceships really, really well. Let me be your pilot.
I can see that.
And they'll be like, if you have an astrophysics degree, and you'll be like,
Don't need
no.
No.
But a master's.
I played Afterburner in the arcade when I was a kid. Like, the cabinet moves around while you're playing it, so it's like being a real plane. All the
We do have.
qualification I need.
I like the couple Banshees mixed into GanZI's army.
Yeah.
Because it really makes use of his air control.
Oh, but look at this. MarineKing catching him a little bit on siege. Does he have enough bio to take out the army? I don't know. The Banshees and all the air getting lost. And MarineKing, well, it's going to be a fairly even trade, but GanZI will come out a little bit ahead there.
Yeah, unfortunately, GanZI's troops were kind of split up, so MarineKing couldn't quite get in close enough to all the tanks quick enough, and there were still 3 or 4 shelling MarineKing's army the entire time. Oh, Hellion's coming in. He's going to lose one.
One's like, no! How exactly do those shells work? Are they like filled with glue or something like that? I mean,
I don't know. Well, I guess they're concussive shells, right?
Concussive?
So maybe they just make you so groggy that you can't move as fast.
Why does that work on mechanical though?
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe the driver inside. He
Maybe
like knocks him out and he like lets his foot off the gas pedal for a moment.
Maybe it concusses the tires
Could be.
of the Hellions, and they pop the tires. And
Need to hit that button like
takes-
Speed Racer has. to get the
exactly.
tires
It takes
to
a
keep
second
driving.
before they can reinflate their tires with a little special Speed Racer button.
I can see that. All right, that makes sense. I accept it. Plus 2 vehicle weapons going up for Slayer's GanZI, whereas the bio from MarineKing is going to be 2-2 as well. Both of these players keeping up pretty well with the upgrades. Oh, a fusion core on the way for Slayer's GanZI as
Wow.
well. Might see some battle cruisers.
And that is going to be interesting, and it's going to really make use of the fact that he does have the air control.
Yeah.
And that's going to be really cool, man, to see that happen if he does go with it, especially if there's like really Marauder heavy army. And actually MarineKing stimming in here, but those tanks are all seized. He's going to put the Hellions in the way as well.
Yeah, nice tank line by Slayer's GanZI, and his bio's going to be stopping and shooting at each tank in the line before it moves on. That's going to make him take a lot of damage. You know, and again, MarineKing coming out just a little bit behind Slayer's GanZI. Now, if we look at the supply count, GanZI is starting to edge ahead in that regard.
Yeah, at the beginning of the battle, they were both tied at 160 supply. GanZI is now 20 supply ahead because he was just so much more cost efficient. He was actually kiting with his Banshees as well. Ooh!
Nice hit from those Hellions before getting taken out.
He was actually kiting with his Banshees during the battle as well to get even more damage. And every time MarineKing attacks, the Vikings kill all of his medevacs.
Yeah, that's big too. You know, I wanted to talk a little bit about air. As we can see there again, he's got those 2 Banshees and the two Vikings. We've been seeing Terrans, you know, go for a good amount of air as well, kind of tied in with the mech, and we've also seen some players go crazy with it, like Bomber lately has been going very heavy air in his TVTs. So it's kind of very much the newest school of TVT in Slayer's GanZI versus the oldest school of TVT in MarineKing. And MarineKing, I mean, he's one of the best at this bio-style TVT.
Yeah. And you know what I wouldn't be surprised if we saw, though, is all that thought he's trying to push in, and he's falling back. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually see some kind of a crazy drop, like mass drop base trade thing, because MarineKing, he's good at that. And that's how he beat Nada in like a few of their games a few seasons ago.
Oh, these Hellions coming into the gold base from MarineKing. And not a lot of SCVs there, but it does force MarineKing to pull back a little bit. And first battle cruiser is on the way.
Sieging up there. MarineKing might be in a lot of trouble here if he moves into this location. There's so many tanks.
Yeah,
Every volley of shells is destroying masses of MarineKing's army, and the entirety of his army does go down. This time GanZI winning such a decisive battle and killing off the medevacs again that he's now 50 supply ahead.
Yeah, well, I mean, MarineKing is just engaging at the wrong angle every time. Oh, losing more SCVs to these Hellions, losing some mules as well. But he's attacking. If you kind of imagine GanZI's tank line like an eye, MarineKing is trying to be like the cross piece that makes it into a T.
And the battle cruiser is operational.
Yeah. I think we might see GanZI take game 2. Because, when you attack in that position that I was talking about, every time your bio stops to kill a tank, you just take another volley from everything behind it. So you just can't beat it if you're engaging like that.
And there's the battle cruiser, so good against bio, basically mass units. because it doesn't really ever overkill because it has so many shots that it fires per second or per couple seconds or whatever. So now battlecruisers can be very vulnerable to mass marines if they're able to stim in there and kill them off very quickly.
Yep,
but if there's support tanks, the battlecruisers are going to lay down so much damage.
Yeah. Now MarineKing is trying to cut off GanZi's reinforcements, but he's just so far behind on supply. I don't know if he's going to be even able to take the army that GanZi has back home at like his third base, for instance. It's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, MarineKing is almost mined out in his natural. He's mined out in his main. He's
boy,
just getting a third at the right side of the map, but hold that thought. Tank sieging up. He's forced back again.
Yep.
But
well,
what I was going to say is technically they're both mining the same amount because GanZi is just taking that bottom right. They're just trying to take the bottom right fourth.
well, MarineKing's in a position too where he can't really engage right now. Always going to try to drop some stuff maybe on the tanks. Nope, just going to lose everything instead. Here come the mules. And the mules signify that it is time for MarineKing to possibly leave the game.
GanZi says, get out my game.
That's right.
And the BC is going to take down the orbital that MarineKing was trying to float to the bottom right. And the tanks are just going to polish everything off. Tank Viking going to start shelling.
Oh, Hellions. Killing a bunch of SCVs at that base as well.
Yeah, and
that's not a good time to be an SCV in King.
That is definitely the game there. MarineKing has no chance of getting back into this at this point. Well, very little chance, I should say.
Very little, yeah. More mules coming down.
If GanZi made some kind of a crazy misstep and lost all these tanks, MarineKing would actually be in an okay spot, but...
He accidentally clicks and kills all his own tanks. Yeah, that might get MarineKing back into it. That's just true.
I don't know.
He's losing all his production buildings too. I mean, SCV's not going to be able to really make a big difference in this fight. And I've got a feeling we're going to see Slayer's GanZi take a 2-0 against MarineKing.
Yep, and MarineKing was barely mining at the left side base, but now he is not. So MarineKing is not mining at all anywhere on the map. His income is at, well, he must be mining somewhere. Never mind, GG. GanZi has taken the first couple games.
Yeah, taking him very convincingly.
Very convincingly indeed.
Drinking his mystery drink there. And yeah, you can see it on the screen. He's the winner. He is now 2 wins away from the Code A Champion Award, which also includes a spot to Code A and or Code S. MarineKing starting to look a bit nervous there.
Yeah, man, and he's got to feel a little bit nervous at this point. He is on the back foot. He is just a couple games away from losing this series. He really wants to win this. I mean, he knows he's got to feel like, you know, he's Code S material. I've been there before. I've been in Code S. I've fought with the top players. I've taken them to the finals.
Yeah.
And here I am in Code A. I should be winning this.
Well, he's going up against a guy, too, that is Code S caliber, you know? I really feel like GanZi is. So.
Well, he's 2 games away from being Code S.
Yeah.
And, yeah, MarineKing, he's tried to go for his usual style, tried to be MarineKing, go with the mass bio.
Yeah.
And the thing is mass bio, the advantage of it is its mobility. And MarineKing did not use that at all that game. He just defended and attacked into tanks. You can't do that. You have to try and go around, use your mobility to try and maybe drop the main, drop their expansions. I don't think he dropped an expansion that game at all.
He really couldn't. GanZi just had such a tight defense set up. I mean,
well, I think we're going to go to a break here in just a moment as we hear the Korean commercials creeping in. So we will see you guys in a few minutes. Come back to see if GanZi can clinch it or if MarineKing can come back.